These people mean business. They want to kill every one of us. Nobody stands a chance. I mean business. I'm not a god. I'm being guided by him. I'm fearless. God does not choose wimps. God chooses people with a spine. Then you will not follow a weak leader. You can't show weakness. You cannot show doubt. You cannot show fear. Those are luxuries you're not allowed to have as a real leader. Now, whether you like to believe this war in Iran is a just war or not, it had to be done. This war is a just war. Donald Trump inherited this war that should have happened when Iran was a lot weaker and we could have wiped them out real fast, and not now. If we had a president right now, Donald Trump decided to do what all the other presidents did and kick the can down the road, we would have a problem. They would have a nuclear weapon that would reach New York and Miami and Los Angeles, and they would fucking hit that button every day of the week. Tube 1776 is coming. I will absolutely go down swinging until it becomes a reality. And I won't tell you the secret sauce recipe, but two things will happen for sure. Freedom of speech, full spectrum, restored. Full spectrum, restored. 100,000% restored. That's what this country was founded on. We're bringing it back. Tube 1776 will be the best thing that ever happened, not just to the United States, but the world. When I tell you some of the things we're going to fix with that thing, foolproof. 100,000%. You're going to fall off your chair. You're not going to get a reset where you have North Korea saying, no, I'm not going to go along with the program. Iran, no, I'm not going to go with the long. No, everybody's got to be on the same page. Then the reset happens, not before. Don't blame Donald Trump. Blame Clinton. Blame the Bushes. Blame Obama. We should have taken care of this problem a long time ago. We did it. Now, we got to pay the fiddler. This global reset has to happen, and it will happen. And it will happen because this guy's got balls. And if you don't fight for what you want, we're done. Welcome to the Mel Carmine podcast. Before we begin, I have something you need to see. 11 years ago in Costa Rica, I took a photograph that changed my life forever. I don't claim to speak to God, but I do believe he gave me a mission. Let me show you the photo, then you decide. If you're serious about protecting and growing your wealth, pay close attention. Looking to acquire XRP, I can help. Minimum purchase is $10,000 and there is no maximum. Whether you're investing $10,000 or $10 million, text me directly at 786-704-8817. And while you're at it, ask us how a religious irrevocable trust can get you off the grid and fully protect your assets and investments. Interested in gold and silver? For extremely competitive prices, visit carminesgold.com. Our minimum order is $50,000 and there is no maximum. We can handle virtually any size transaction. Then visit QFS1776.com for exclusive merchandise, links to our social media, and a library of 100% free videos explaining the new financial system millions are following. No hype, no paywall, just information. Don't miss our 5-star documentary everyone is talking about. Dear Mr. President, show me the money. Visit dearmrpresident.net and ask yourself, what if we show you irrefutable, irrevocable evidence in our movie that everyone with a social security number is worth hundreds of millions of dollars? Do we have your attention? The link is in the description below. Finally, join our official Telegram groups and be aware of fake Mel Carmine accounts. If anyone tells you that you must register your XRP with the so-called quantum financial system, it's a scam. Now subscribe and share this episode with someone you care about. Turn up the heat on these scammers and let's get to work. Also, scan the QR code and opt in so you don't miss any amazing workshops at staying alive in Cape Canaveral. Now, here's your host, Mel Carmine. Well, good afternoon. For all you people that are new, subscribe down below. Let's talk about 3 resets. There are 3 resets, 3. There's gold and silver, which is the metals. There's the cryptos. And then there are the paper currencies, which I also believe they will revalue. At how much, when, I don't know. But you would think that Donald Trump has some power to at least allow one of the 3 to actually reset. And I don't see that. So are you powerless, Mr. Trump? What's going on? I mean, listen, I'm not a bootlicker. I like the guy. I voted for the guy. I want the guy to succeed. A lot of people are throwing a lot of bullshit at him regarding this war with Iran. I got to tell you the truth. Iran should have happened a long time ago. Iran is putting up a hell of a fight, whether you like to believe that or not. Not that they're kicking our ass. They're not, as far as I'm concerned. We have bombed them into the Stone Age. It's going to take them a long time to rebuild, and guess who's going to rebuild it? The United States, the United Kingdom, Italy, France, Germany, and so on. So, but anyway, long story short is we should have at least a paper currency. It would make a lot of people that call me constantly, that are in constant pressure, say, man, we want this thing to be over with already. At least allow the people to have one, Mr. Trump, one of 3, okay? If it's not the cryptocurrency, let it be the silver market. Let the silver go to $500 or $1,000 or $2,000 an ounce, like it wants to go to, so that people could have a little breathing space, a little bit less pressure. Okay. Look, I would love for everything to go back to normal. I'd love to F off just like everybody else out there. I would love to have a normal life where I haven't watched a football game or a soccer game or a basketball game or a hockey game or a baseball game in a very, very long time. Ask me how many games I've watched of the soccer, the what do you call it? The World Cup final. Not one single minute did I watch. Not one single minute. I'm busy doing other stuff. Okay. So look, the time will come where we should have some kind of normalcy, that we can enjoy our friends, our family, some sports events, but we can never go back to being completely, totally distracted. We're always going to have to keep an eye on the people who are running the world. Just because we put people that we think we can trust, that doesn't mean or give us the luxury to look away and let them do whatever they want with us, right? So it's very important. I have an incredible show ready for you today. We're going to do the videos again. The videos I feel are educational based on what's going on right now. And I think you'll find them very interesting. Now, I don't think she needs any introduction. I think everybody knows pretty much who Ann Vandersteel is, and she brings a lot to the table. She does great work, just like Mel Carmine does great work. Let's listen to what she has to say.
We got him. We finally got him. We caught the IRS red-handed. For years, they've been telling you, the American people, to pay up or else, waving around those so-called official transcripts and certificates as if they were gospel. Well, guess what? They're frauds, fabricated, phantom tax returns the IRS claims that you filed but can't produce because they never existed. Here's the crime. An IRS agent falsified the records. A supervisor covered it up. The DOJ marched into court and used those fake records against Americans, and then admitted under oath they have no signed returns to back it up. That's not sloppy paperwork. That's RICO fraud, a criminal enterprise operating under color of law. And it doesn't stop there. Judges looked the other way. Clerks issued phantom orders. And the whole rotten system circled the wagons to protect itself. Multi-layered fraud. IRS, DOJ, and the judicial system. This is enough. Enough to prove the IRS is not a tax collector. It's a criminal cartel preying on its own people, and when an agency survives only by fabricated evidence, it's not just corrupt, it's illegitimate. It's time to shut down this rogue agency once and for all. We're not going to reform it. We're not going to slap it on the wrist. We're going to abolish it. We've got the evidence, we've got the admissions, and now the American people have the truth. The IRS has been running a RICO fraud, and the whole house of cards is coming down. Chew on this, America.
You know, I wish I can disagree with her, but for all you people that are just waking up, and for the folks that are awake, have been awake for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 40 years, like myself, we have to be patient. We have to be patient because the reality is that we have no choice. We have no choice because people have their own pace at waking up, and we can't yell and scream at everybody because they're not up to speed like us. Okay. But if you're new here, the IRS, and please look this up. Don't just take my word for it or anybody who tells you. Go look it up. The IRS is potentially the most illegal collection agency, a corporation registered in Puerto Rico in 1946. That's what the IRS is. They're not part of the United States government. They're not federal. They're not part of anything. They just said, hey, this is a great idea. And everybody's been paying all these taxes in there. They got used to the gravy train, and they don't want that gravy train to go away because it is corrupt as hell. Listen, my good friend Sherry Jackson, who's been on my show, along with Joe Pistone, I think his name is, another guy that ratted out the IRS. You know, these guys have literally, I can't think of the guy's name, might be different than Pistone. I might be thinking of the guy that was in the movie Donnie Brasco, but you guys could put the guy's name down below. I know it's Joe something, but anyway, long story short, these guys were getting paid $600,000 a year, salaries back in the 80s. You're making $600,000 a year in the 80s, and not paying any taxes because the agents themselves found out it's a fraud. They said, why should we pay taxes on the $600,000 when we know it's a fraud? We can prove it's a fraud. We have irrefutable, insurmountable evidence that it's a fraud. So they stopped paying their taxes, and the IRS did not put them in jail because they needed them to go out there and knock your door off the hinges to collect the taxes of everybody else. And they looked the other way when their own agents weren't paying taxes. So imagine in the mid 80s, you're making $600,000 a year and you get to keep it all. That's like making $4 million a year today and get to keep it all. 600,000 back in the mid 80s, even the early 80s, like when I graduated high school, is like making 4 million in buying power today, maybe 5 million. You feeling me? This is exactly what we're up against. If you know anything about this channel is about health, creating wealth, create the pursuit of happiness, and to also keep an eye on our enemy to see what they're up to so that we can beat the odds. That's what we're here for. That's what my channel brings to the table. I think we cover everything. And we're about to bring something to the United States and the world that is going to change the odds in such a way. As a matter of fact, Quantum Summit 1776.com. You want to start paying attention to Quantum Summit 1776.com because we're going to have another summit either towards the end of October or towards the beginning of November. And the stuff that we're bringing, I can't tell you what it is. The only thing I can tell you is I am absolutely convinced after looking at real science, not the science that Fauci talks about, real scientists that make David Sinclair look like his entire team almost like nobodies. And they're qualified. They're also at the precipice of cracking the code to at least 150, 200 years. We're beyond that. We're at least 300, 350 years. And when you understand what we're about to bring, it's unbelievable. So Dr. Artist happens to be one of my favorite as well. So let's go ahead and play the little short video on tobacco. As a matter of fact, I'm wearing my patch, okay? And don't wear it at night unless you like to have some really wild dreams, okay? So let's go here.
Did you know that tobacco has been known and published in medical journals for 400 years to prevent obesity and to be hunger regulating all by itself? Did you know that every beta cell in the pancreas that produces insulin needs nicotine to activate those cells to release the insulin? And if you don't have nicotine in your body to do that, you'll be insulin dependent, which is what type 1 diabetics are. This is why you got to hang out with Laban and I, because I'll just dump all the research on you so you can see it. So when I tell you the world right now, all governments of the world are banning nicotine and tobacco products by the year 2030 from all your shelves, you should ask yourself, does your government really love you that much? Do you think they're doing that because they love you? When tobacco is the only plant ever in modern medical history to be called for 400 years the panacea of all panaceas, the cure for all diseases.
Allegedly. I have to throw that word in there just to protect my channel because you know who runs shit around here, right? And it's still not us. But let me go ahead and jump to this one. I just did a search. And this is Mr. Andrew Tate's official Instagram channel right here. This one. And let's see what it says. Oops, sorry. This page isn't available. Wouldn't you know? Wouldn't you know? Okay. So anyway, so let's, this is, you're going to love this one. This is poetic justice at its finest. And this guy was so brainwashed to drink the Kool-Aid and believe his own bullshit, because I can't believe I was ready to argue, but he actually put it in his journal. And I'm not going to give away the punchline. Listen very carefully. Now, it's a little tricky with Instagram to cue it up, so I might have to replay it again from the beginning. We'll see.
They're in a vaccine on national TV telling in a very, very highly publicized press conference to show people that was safe. Then he got one of the primary, most expected adverse events, which was potentially deadly blood clots in his lung, myocardial infarction. He kept that secret from the American public, and we only learned about it because of his diary. He was getting the best medical treatment that is available to anybody in the world at Walter Reed and all these other centers. There were doctors fawning over him. Meanwhile, he was telling other people to take this product and concealing the fact that he himself, after announcing this press conference to show it was safe, had actually gotten very, very sick from an injury that was highly expected and highly likely to be caused by the vaccine. He took them.
Well, anyway, look, poetic justice, the word poetic justice doesn't even serve it justice. There's no words to describe how cool this is. If you had a choice, and I know which one I would pick, 3 choices. The choices are Guantanamo Bay, because allegedly he's guilty. Allegedly, right? I got to use that word. Thank you, Nino, for teaching me that word. It's the only way to sort of fly under the radar, if you will. So allegedly, right? So here are 3 choices. Guantanamo Bay firing squad, found guilty. The other choice, I don't know, let's think of one. Torture and then kill him 6 months later. Or choice number 3, I don't know. How about we inject him with like 29 vaccines in 29 minutes and see if he survives? Which one would you take? I'll take option number 3 on live television, and I'll pay the $100. I like horror movies. I do. Let's go to the next one. Duh. Okay, here we go.
There is a grim reality coming to the people of Earth. Bill Gates and all of his buddies, the billionaires, are planning to kill off 3 to 4 billion people within the next 3 to 5 years. That's right. And every government on Earth is in on it, including the American government. They are going to develop biological weapons to make sure that you die. They are coming to kill you. These psychopathic people that are running the world are tired of paying to have you fed, to have you clothed, to take care of you. They no longer need to take care of you. And the problem with people, the ordinary people, is that they refuse to listen. They refuse to listen to the reality that you are no longer needed. They no longer need your tax money. They no longer need your money, period. The people at the top want you dead. Everyone around the world. If you are not a billionaire, they want you dead. And they will keep a certain amount of people to run the world in these 15-minute cities. And it will be the subservient white class that they keep, and the intelligent Asians and Indians to run the tech sector. I've said this many times before. If the American citizens and citizens around the world do not stand up to your governments, they are going to kill you. You're going to have to overrun your governments, take your governments out around the world. Everybody, not just here in America. Every government on Earth needs to be toppled. China, Russia, every single one. If you can hear my voice, your government needs to be destroyed because your government is coming to kill you. These people are working in conjunction around the world to create viruses to kill off the population.
Allegedly.
This is not a joke. It's not a game. It's them or us. Either you take up arms against your governments and take them out, or they're going to kill you. It's that simple. God loves you. I love you.
You know, I wish that I could sit here and disagree with this guy. I truly can't, because there are 2 factions of your government. It's the part of the government that wants to kill you, the cabal, the billionaire class, the Ellisons of the world, the guys that run Oracle. Now they bought supposedly TikTok. They're going to destroy that thing. More censorship, more rule. They are psychopaths is too nice of a term for these people. There's got to be another word that's stronger than psychopath. Maybe you guys can think of a word that's stronger than psychopath. Put it down below. They're not going to stop. I just did it because I wanted to taste it. And I threw more than half of it away. But I had a hamburger that was made by Bill Gates meat. I wanted to taste it. It tastes just like meat. You can't tell the fucking difference. It was delicious, made from chemicals. And if you eat enough of those, you'll die off real fast, because that's what they want. I wish this guy was off. He's not. Now you got Donald Trump and the White Hats trying to save us all. We're trying to help them. and then you got the cabal. I don't understand, Mr. Trump. I really don't. You need a Sicilian consigliere, a guy that says, you know what? Sick the army after them. Do it now. And it gets done. No red tape, no bullshit. It gets done. What the hell is the delay? I know 107 keeps telling me, Mel, relax. It's coming. We've been hearing this for some time, Mr. 107, and I have a tremendous respect for you. I have tremendous respect for who you're connected to, who we suspect you are connected to. And we understand that you can only talk in parables. But the reality is these people are not stopping. The chemtrails haven't stopped. The poisoning of the food is never going to stop. The cops harassing you on the street to take your last dollars is not going to stop. The freaking cameras, these new cameras, what do they call? Flock cameras. By the way, if you take a laser pointer and you put on a ski mask, there's people now on TikTok and all over, they're going out and they're pointing a laser, green laser. I happen to have one of those, but I'm not one of the guys in ski masks, okay? But they say if you point it at it for a couple of seconds, it shorts out the entire thing. Destroyed. And there's videos about this on the internet. There are vigilantes. They're about to turn those things on, and if you go 1 or 2 miles over the speed limit, a cop doesn't need to pull you over. They got your license plate. They're going to send it directly to your fucking email, and you'll have an extra $500 to $1,000 a month bill that didn't exist before, because now they don't need the cops. They're phasing you guys out too. And you guys are not going to be immune when you're driving your civilian vehicles either. If you had any balls and any common sense, you would be on our side to help stop this nonsense. But obviously you don't, because it's going on right now. And I don't know. The only thing I can tell you is it's getting scary out there. Let's share the screen one more time. And this is absolutely a great one.
Yeah, my name is Rick Fry. That was clever moving the data center to the very end of the meeting, but that's okay because, as you guys know, I talk big picture stuff. So the problem with saying that cameras are just about surveillance is that people are kind of stupid and don't understand history, right? So when you say you have nothing to worry about, a lot of studies show that people break the law hundreds of times every year. Like nobody drives 5 miles over the limit. You never make a change without signaling. The world changed in 2020 so much that you couldn't go to the gym and you couldn't go to the park or you were breaking the law. So just like that, you can suddenly be wrong. So when they say, like, if you're not doing anything wrong, you don't have nothing to worry about, all of a sudden normal things suddenly become wrong, right? So this is a dangerous precedent that we set. And so, when Larry came up here and he talked about that, about the Israel thing, that's some serious stuff. And like, unless you live under a rock at this point, you should know that Epstein and Maxwell worked for Israel. Ghislaine Maxwell's father was an Israeli spy. Christina and Isabel created digital software that's used by the Department of Defense. They are clearly Israeli spies. They are blackmailing politicians, and they're making laws right now that makes it illegal for me to say that. So I could be in America saying Trump sucks or Biden sucks, but if I say something about Netanyahu, I can go to jail. So those flock cameras are a serious problem. This isn't a joke. This is a big deal. And this is something I've been talking about for 20 years, about what's coming, about this Orwellian surveillance state. And all of a sudden, people have figured out that I was right. Now, the same people who used to laugh at me, they call me now when something happens. What's going on, man? What's happening? Because they know I've been doing this. I dedicated my life to this. My whole life. I've been ridiculed by friends and family. I didn't care because I knew I was right. And now everything that I talked about is coming true. This is real shit.
Again, can you disagree with that? These people mean business. We're in a war. And if we don't stand up and stop this, listen, it's very easy. Listen, I'm going to be, when the reset happens, whether it's the gold, the silver, the cryptos, or all three, I can go buy 1,000 hectares of land in the middle of nowhere and retreat like a coward. Or I could sit here and fight. And if you guys will help us, we can go a lot faster. If you guys rise up in numbers, they'll take a shit in their pants. And we want to get to the point where they fear us. And we're not there yet. And it pisses me off, because we're showing you all of the evidence. We're showing you everything you need to see. And if you don't want to wake up now, I'm sorry to say, but you're pretty fucking stupid. How else can I say it? Is there another way of saying that? I don't think there is, and I'm going to skip around a lot. We got some Andrew Tate stuff going on here. I happen to like Andrew Tate a lot. I think, do I agree with his three-dimensional thinking of still driving a Bugatti with 4 tires, which is a replica or an extension of a Model T Ford? Yes, it's got all the whistles and bells. Yes, it cost, $4.8 million. Yes, it cost, $120,000 to change your tires. Who the hell? I don't give a shit if I was a trillionaire. I don't want to pay $120,000 to change my tires just because I can afford it. Doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it right because nobody else can afford that. It's not easy to become a billionaire when you got all these forces against you, people poisoning you, poisoning your mind, the Colgate toothpaste, the fluoride, the freaking chemtrails, and your mind doesn't work right. And you wonder why. Gee, everybody's on these drugs, which makes the problem amplified by a factor of 10, 20 times even worse, So let's go to the next video. Let's get to the volume. I hate Instagram. It's not intuitive. Come on.
If you hate this dude or not. I don't care if you hate this dude or not. You need to not just listen, but really think about this.
If nothing happens over this Epstein stuff, you may as well give up on politics. If the fact that we now have confirmation that what the conspiracy theorists have been saying for years is true, that Pizzagate is real, and that there's no such thing as left and right, there's no such thing as a sovereign nation, there's just ultra wealthy people exploiting the poor to the point where they can get little girls and do whatever they want to them on an island, and all the evidence of it can exist. And instead of there being any repercussion at all, it's going to be discussed a little bit by a few people on Twitter, and they're going to continue doing exactly as they did before. If nothing happens over this Epstein stuff, if there's no mass raids, mass arrests, mass public trials, you may as well just give up on politics. May as well just give up. The system is so rotten, it's never going to be fixed. Even transparency isn't fixing any of this stuff. And the reason for it is not because the elites are actually so smart. It's not because they have all this power. It's because the crowd is apathetic. You care because you're on the internet, you're on Twitter. You might be watching this video on Instagram and you mentioned it to your friends sometimes. But by and large, nobody gives a shit. They've got us so distracted trying to pay our own bills, arguing with each other, have a problem with our neighbor over the lawn being mowed, don't like a black guy, don't like a white guy, don't like Mexicans. They put Bad Bunny in the Super Bowl. He speaks Spanish. That distracted most of you. What were you watching the Super Bowl in the first place for? Who gives a shit? The fact that they can distract people so easily, they can divide people so heavily, means that most people at home are apathetic. They don't give a shit. If you walk around, I'm in New York now, you walk around New York and say, have you heard about the Epstein thing? Most people will go, yeah, I heard, but they don't really care.
Again, you cannot argue with this. You can't argue with this. Let me exit out of that one and let me stop sharing and I'll give you my thoughts on it. If you think that Epstein Island is the only one, he's just the one that got found out. There are a lot of high-level billionaires and trillionaires and quadrillionaires out there that don't make the Forbes list. And I bet you dollars to donuts. I will bet you some of my XRP bags that there are other islands right now with non-profile people, with big name families out of Italy, the people you never see who are behind the curtain. And it's still going on. Would anybody like to comment on that? I'd like to see what's in your mind. Let's go to the next one. Let's go and share the window here. 1 second, guys. Just bear with me. Again, Instagram is not intuitive. I wish it was. Okay, here we go.
But I want to just say something for people at home to try and dissect and understand. The Western world, its wealth was built on the exploitation of the second and third world. This is how we got rich. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying it's the natural order of the universe. However, in every relationship, there's a top and a bottom, and someone gets fucked in the ass. The second and the third world were getting fucked for a very long time. Now, rich people are naturally becoming globalistic. Rich people move around. So if rich people are becoming globalistic and can move around and can live anywhere, if their personal circumstances will always be favorable because they can live in Switzerland or the Maldives or Tokyo, and they understand that some nation must get exploited for their own personal gain, and second and third world nations are no longer exploitable or are not providing the returns they previously provided, then who do you exploit? Will you exploit the first world nation? It's inverted. We're no longer raping the second world for the benefit of the first world. We're raping the first world for the benefit of the second world and the third world, which is why the Middle East is the new Europe. This is a whole podcast in and of itself. But Europe, especially, is being destroyed on purpose because the rich people with the money are trying to destroy it because they're tired of Europeans with their high living standards and their pensions and their demands for holiday and working conditions. You know, it would be easier if we just import a whole bunch of slaves and rule over them with an iron hand. But it will destroy the culture and the history. Who gives a shit? We'll make money. But what we do with the money, we don't want to live in a shithole. Doesn't matter. We don't have to live in a shithole. We're going to live over here. We're going to live in Saudi. Kenya's beautiful. We're going to live somewhere else. Most people don't understand what's happening. Europe is being imploded on purpose. They are doing it on purpose. You do not accidentally flood your country with third worlders. You do not accidentally let crime run rampant. You do not accidentally let drugs get out of control. You do not accidentally tax all your rich people away. You do not accidentally do these things. This is purposeful. But I want to just say something for people at home to try.
Now, he's got such a brain. He really does. He's a brainiac. He's brilliant. He's incredibly smart. He's a lot of things. And I don't agree with everything, but I do agree with about 98.98888% of everything he says. I do. I wish he would stop partying with girls. Maybe he's going to grow out of it. Hey, listen, when I was his age, I was a pretty rough dude myself, okay? Or even younger. He's in his 40s now. I think it's time for Andrew Tate to get it out of his system, and we want to see the new and improved Andrew Tate here at some point because it's important. It's not about banging hookers and freaking beautiful centerfold women and partying and drinking and hanging out on yachts and helicopters. You realize that every one of those activity is to keep us grounded on this rock? I want to fly, man. I want to soar like an eagle. I want my Mach 17 flying machine that lives in my garage. This way, when I go to Vegas at the Storm Summit on the 10th, the 11th, and the 12th, rooms are sold out. The event is about to sell out. You want to get your ticket. Storm Summit with 107. Even one of my favorite guys who I've never met that I'm going to get to meet for the first time, Project Veritas. What's his name? I can't think of his name. It will come to me. Or maybe you guys can write it down below. I can't remember millions of people's names. I'm sorry. It's not dementia. I just can't remember millions of people's names. That's all it is. But anyway, let's get to the next one. Like I said, I wish that he would grow up in that respect and he would say, you know what? Finding your soulmate is important. Having kids with that soulmate and not having your eggs spread amongst, 17 women and having 3 kids with each or 4 kids with each. That's a little crazy. Yeah, I know he can afford it, but just because he can afford it, that doesn't make it right because that's not normal. Yes. Can everybody become rich? Yes. Can we cure a lot of disease? When we do the next summit in Cape Canaveral, we are going to shake the foundations of Mother Earth because I believe we are at the precipice of solving many, many of these things. These things that make your body malfunction and then die off. And instead, we get to live to be 300, 350 maybe. Nobody knows. These are conservative numbers that we're playing with based on what we know on this thing that's coming to Cape Canaveral at the Quantum Summit. We're going to have tickets go for sale here probably within 2 or 3 weeks. End of October or beginning of November or mid-November, the very latest, it's going to happen in Cape Canaveral. And if you are into longevity, if you want to live to be 300 years old, if you want to be a thorn in the side of the New World disorder, you're going to want this product. You're going to want to tell everybody about this product. It's not multi-level marketing. It's not. I don't believe it's going to be. We're bringing several investors to the table that their mind, based on the information we gave them, is blown already. They want in like yesterday. But I just want to get this product to my mom too, okay? My mom and I have an incredible relationship. Sometimes we have a couple of fights, but hey, mom, I'm trying to get you to live forever, okay? Because I believe it exists. They just trying to, suppress that information. So let's go to the next video, and here we go. Alrighty, share, boom. And let's refresh as usual. Okay, let's put the volume up.
They got caught. They finally got caught.
Which of your companies own or control a health insurance division? Raise your hand. Please keep your hand up if you also employ healthcare providers or clinics, specialty pharmacies, or any other kind of medical practice or pharmacy. Please keep your hand up if you also own or control a pharmacy benefit manager. And please keep your hand up if you lead a publicly traded company at which you have a legal responsibility to maximize shareholder value. So we've established on the record that the largest health insurance companies are not just insurers. They are also medical providers and pharmacies, diagnosing and deciding treatment for patients. They are also PBMs, another form of middlemen managing drug benefits. They are increasingly controlling every aspect of our healthcare system.
Okay, so let's break this down because every American should understand that this is how healthcare works. So you own the insurance company that determines whether or not I get coverage. And you own the middleman called a PBM that negotiates the price of my medication. And then you own the pharmacy, where I pick up my medication. And you can charge me whatever you want if it's not covered. And now you're buying the doctor's practices that write my medication? Did I get that right? And you are, of course, publicly traded. So as you make these decisions, how do you reconcile patient care and the bottom line? In any other industry, this would not stand. In healthcare, just an average Tuesday. But if you're not getting the healthcare coverage that you deserve, are you placing the blame where it belongs if you don't know this? They got caught.
Wow. The only thing I could say is wow. Only 4 words can describe this. Massive, massive. They have massive, massive conflicting interest here. The game is rigged. You're not supposed to win. But when you know the rules of the game and we can get 1 million people to rise and say enough is enough, they will shit in their pants. Mel Carmine will sign a contract to that, ironclad contract. 1 million people rise and say enough is enough. We want these people jailed. We want these people brought down to Guantanamo Bay. These are treasonous crimes against humanity. That's exactly what happens. Because when 1 million people rise, you can't sweep it underneath the rug. Yeah, ABC might not cover it. CNN probably won't cover it. But Mel Carmine will. Michael Jaco will. Nino Rodriguez will. And a lot of podcasters will descend on wherever those 1 million people are saying, enough is enough. Do you get it? If it's meant to be, it's up to we, the people. Get involved or get ready to lose everything. Get involved or your daughters will get killed by Muslims. Get involved or your daughters and sons will get killed by the industry, that industry. Get involved or watch it all crumble. Stand up. It's not a suggestion. Let's go to the next one. Now, I might jump around, but these might have to do like different subjects. I'm trying to keep the subjects as relevant as possible. All right. We already showed that one. Okay. Let's see what this one's about here. All right. Let's do a share.
There's 2 grams of gold and there's 2 grams of gold in every flock camera. There's over 100,000 flock cameras nationwide. Gold is trading at $4,300 an ounce. That means there is over $30 million in flock cameras across the nation. Talk about a gold rush. I'm talking to Gen Alpha right now, the oldest of which is 16. I'm not talking to Gen Z. Gen Z, you've been a complete letdown. You're a bunch of looks-maxing, panty-waist Puritans. I've had enough of you. I've given up on you. But Gen Alpha, teenagers, this is your chance. I know it's hard for teenagers to get jobs right now. There's $30 million out there just hanging around. So I don't know. If I was a teenager, I would leave my phone at home. I would grab some sort of mask, or I believe they're called shiesties, and hit the streets, you know, get with some friends, get on your bikes, research. It'd be a great lesson in cartography because there's maps that you can look up where they are, and they look up like the field of vision, and you can see how to approach them. Sounds like a summer job to me. Good luck, boys.
Now, $30 million worth of gold, and they're probably going to be 10 times the amount of cameras, if they can have their cake and eat it too, that there are right now everywhere, watching every corner of every planet, of every corner of every angle of every piece of this planet. You won't be able to make a left or a right. You won't be able to scratch your nose or scratch your ass, that they will not see it. Is that the world you want to live in? Now, I don't suggest you go and break the cameras and steal the gold, but shit, robots are taking over. AI's taking over. He said jobs are scarce. People need to eat. Maybe not a bad idea. Who knows? I'm just not saying you go out there and create violence and break people's businesses. No, I'm talking about taking down the people that want to take you down. This is getting serious, folks. I don't know how much more. I'm going to do more and more of these because I think you guys like them. If you do, communicate with me down below. I need your communication down below, so I'll know if I should continue. And please pass it around. My videos are being, I mean, at best, I get like 1,800 views, 2,000 views when I make one of these videos that's so highly educational. Until I'm in control of my own destiny, this is what we're dealing with, okay? So we depend on you to pass these around so that people can get educated on what's real and what's not. Let's go to the next one. This one was very good. Okay, share. I have no idea what this one's about because I haven't watched it, but let's go.
Where instead of kicking our children out when they're 18, they come to work with us in our family business. And then when they get married, we give them a house so they don't have a mortgage and a family business so they don't have to find a job. And then we teach them an aspect of the family business so that when we die, instead of just giving them money, we give them a mindset, we give them a skill set, we give them a tool set that they can perpetuate the family's wealth instead of decimating the family's wealth. But imagine that as a world where your children don't have to start from scratch. Imagine if your parents would have set you up so you didn't have to start from scratch. Imagine how much further ahead you'd be. Well, guess what? As my good friend Dr. Sonia always says, you may not come from a wealthy family, but a wealthy family should come from you.
Absolutely. I totally agree. How can you disagree with that? You know, look, the problem is, again, the dumbing down project is a very real project. You can give somebody a business, but because their brain has been so damaged by the foods and the drugs and the air they breathe and the chemtrails and the clothes they wear and the toothpaste and the mouthwash and becomes very difficult to give somebody a business thinking that they're going to learn the skill set because their brain doesn't work properly. This is why we're doing a quantum summit in Cape Canaveral. We're going to restore the brain. We're going to restore bodily function to the fullest potential available on planet Earth right now. You would be absolutely crazy not to get a ticket and come down to the next summit. We got people coming in through Zoom from way far on the other side of the world, like 14 hours difference. Won't tell you where. These are scientists that have developed something that is worth coming down to the summit for. You'll have exclusives. We hope that by the time we put a bow on this thing and bring all the investors to the table, that we can make the announcement, the proper announcement. Right now, I'm under non-disclosure and non-compete, and we're getting ready to do something so huge. Ground Zero, Cape Canaveral, Quantum Summit, 1776.com. Don't forget to support us. Carmine'sGold.com, StayingAlive.com, Carmine'sGold.com, StayingAlive.com, alive with 2 E's, QuantumSummit.com/shop. Buy your dog some healthy dog food. There's some great stuff there, merchandise. Support the good guys. If you're driving through Florida, make it a point to stop in Cape Canaveral, pull the body over, buy 3 overnights, and then talk to me. And then you say, Mel, you're right. I feel amazing. When we add this other product that we're bringing in, which will be at the Quantum Summit, 1776.com, mind-blowing. I'm not exaggerating. My mom can't wait to get her hands on this product. We're going to solve so many problems. If you're in the healthcare business, get ready to shake in your boots. This time you're going to have a reason. My name is Mel Carmine. This is the Mel Carmine Show, and I expect you guys to move this information forward. I expect you to watch my movie. I expect you to move the movie forward. I expect you to understand you're worth hundreds of millions of dollars. I expect you to understand that you've been bamboozled since you were born. They ink the bottom of your feet. They give you the all caps name, the twin of you that they trade on the stock market. Your social security number is your bond number. The back of your social security number is another number that we were able to pay bills with that we show in the movie. Irrefutable, irrevocable, insurmountable, undeniable evidence. We expect you to watch the movie. We expect you to watch the movie and move it forward. One person telling 10, 10 doing the same. Take the information, put it on your local social media where you got people that are following you. Dear MR, President.net. Dear MR, President. Good luck. Put it right there. Mr. Good Luck, right there. Dear MR, President.net. Everybody in America should watch that movie. You know how you win this war? With money. I hate it when you guys say, oh, you guys are a bunch of patriots. You just want to get paid. You want weak soldiers on the battlefield that are broke, that can't afford a set of teeth, that don't know where their next paycheck is coming from, can't feed their family properly, don't know if they can make it to the Storm Summit? Is that what you want? And the enemy's got the printing press. They could just throw a bunch of numbers in a computer, and they're fighting us with those numbers. But yet, no, we're going to fix this. We're going to fix this. Tube 1776 is coming. I will absolutely go down swinging until it becomes a reality. And I won't tell you the secret sauce recipe, but 2 things will happen for sure. Freedom of speech, full spectrum, restored. Full spectrum, restored. 100,000% restored. That's what this country was founded on. We're bringing it back. And yes, I want Nino Rodriguez, and I want everybody who's a podcaster, who's a truther, to make $1 million a month. Imagine when you got a guy that's just literally at the bottom of the pay scale, that's got 10,000 people who's making $10,000, $12,000 a month. You think he wants to get excited, maybe build up to 20,000 people or 50,000 people so he can make some more? Imagine if there's a free way to surf that thing without telling you what it is. And there is. Oh, but Mel, I don't want to pay $11 or $12.17. I can't afford that. Tube 1776 will be the best thing that ever happened, not just to the United States, but the world. When I tell you some of the things we're going to fix with that thing, foolproof, 100,000%, you're going to fall off your chair. We got competent programmers, We're going to be using the best AI softwares, more than one. I won't tell you which ones. That's my secret sauce recipe, not yours. Top shelf, top shelf. It's going to be light years ahead of everything. I know. I've had the conversations with AI, and AI has said to me repeatedly, there's a couple of stumbling blocks, and it told me where the problems were, and you can't do that because then they're going to basically own you, and they're going to dictate to you that you have to censor your people. That was not going to fly under Mel Carmine's watch. So I had to go back, rethink it, re-engineer it. Went back, and they said, now, if you do it this way, nobody stands a chance. I mean business. These people mean business. They want to kill every one of us, allegedly, right? I got to use that stupid word. I'm telling you, I'm going to spread the money around on this platform like I'm a drunken sailor. I don't need the money. I won't need the money. When they allow us to have this reevaluation, money won't even motivate me. I'm doing it to correct something. I need you people to get behind people like me. Instead of sitting on the sideline thinking that some magical God out there is going to open up the clouds and Donald Trump is going to fix it all. What comes after Donald Trump is probably the most important thing. Hopefully we can get this rejuvenation product over to the White House. And I know a few people that know how to get to Mr. T and rejuvenate him and prove to the world that Mel Carmine just brought a product to the world that rejuvenates you and you're able to live 300 years. If you see the pictures of before and after, striking. And I can't tell you what the product or the products are. There are several partnerships going on that I'm working really hard behind the scenes to make sure humanity survives. I'm not a God. I'm being guided by him. I'm fearless. God does not choose wimps. God chooses people with a spine. Now, whether you like to believe this war in Iran is a just war or not, it had to be done. And I want to close on this. Donald Trump inherited this war that should have happened when Iran was a lot weaker and we could have wiped them out real fast, and not now. If we had a president right now, Donald Trump decided to do what all the other presidents did and kick the can down the road, we would have a problem. They would have a nuclear weapon that would reach New York and Miami and Los Angeles, and they would fucking hit that button every day of the week, and they would wipe us off the face of the earth. Yes, we're going to wipe them too. They're going to wipe us. We're all dead. Nobody wins. You better get behind Donald Trump in this war. It's a little bit more difficult than I'm sure even he thought, but he's a leader. He cannot show doubt or fear. You can't do that as a leader. Even though he might feel that on the inside, he cannot show you, because then you will not follow a weak leader. You can't show weakness. You cannot show doubt. You cannot show fear. Those are luxuries you're not allowed to have as a real leader. This war is a just war. You're not going to get a reset where you have North Korea saying, no, I'm not going to go along with the program. Iran, no, I'm not going to go with the long. No, everybody's got to be on the same page. Then the reset happens, not before. Don't blame Donald Trump. Blame Clinton. Blame the Bushes. Blame Obama. We should have taken care of this problem a long time ago. We didn't. Now we got to pay the fiddler. Yes, it's going to cost American lives. Yes, they might get lucky and hit one of our battleships. Yes, yes, and yes. Can anybody argue with me? If you have an argument, please put it down below. This global reset has to happen, and it will happen. And it will happen because this guy's got balls. And if you don't fight for what you want, we're done. Thank you, guys. God bless you. We'll catch you on the next one. Don't forget, Quantum Summit 1776. Start paying attention, because in the next couple of days, if I have my way, my cake and eat it too, I'm going to start revamping that website with information, okay? And I have to have a written approval from the scientists to be able to do that. I can't break any of my own rules, and I got to get commitments that they will come to the Quantum Summit. It's all in the works. We'll see you there. Thank you.
Stop! Don't you dare scroll!
Because I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that we've been bamboozled in ways that you can't even imagine. From the creator who dared to question everything in Dear Mr. President comes a revelation so explosive, it will shatter your perception of reality. I'm about to tell you a story that is going to absolutely piss off a lot of people in the United States of America.
Want to know how the trick is done? Du bist ein Strawman. It's a strawman operation. You are the strawman.
This is the biggest scam ever, and your government It thinks that you are stupid. Your local hospital thinks that you are stupid. The system is broken. It's working exactly how it was designed, just not in your favor. Garish? Welcome to the movie Dear Mr. President, Show Me the Money, a movie about the straw man. This is a story that's going to piss off 8 billion people, a story that proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that a lot of you are worth 100 million, 200 million, 300 million, and more.
Okay, my understanding of the legal fiction, which is also referred to as the straw man, I believe that they actually give us a fictional entity which we can actually use or not use. And I believe this is and a lot of other researchers do as well, that this is your name in either uppercase or with a title.
So what is this legal fiction of yours? It's your twin brother or twin sister, born the same day you were. Yes, you've had a twin your whole life, which was created by contract. The birth certificate your mother and father signed when you were born was a contract. The signing of that contract gave authority to the Social Security Administration to create a legal fiction that just happens to mirror your name.
Listen, if you were worth $100 million or $200 million, wouldn't you want to know? I know, I sure as hell would. We kept it dumbed down on the 3rd and 4th grade level of education, not because we think that you people are stupid out there, but because we believe that it needs to be dumbed down so that everybody can understand it. They've dumbed me down too, okay? I'm part of this whole entire thing. We found the most elementary videos out there to tell the whole story, and we glued together that is going to absolutely leave you flabbergasted. The only thing I can tell you from this point forward is that you go get a marriage license, it's a bond. You get divorced, it's a bond. You get a driver's license, it's a bond. You get a fishing license, it's a bond. You get a hunting license, it's a bond. You get a ticket, that ticket gets traded. Ticket like a speeding ticket. Any kind of traffic violation at all. That's why the cops out there, most of them are as dumb as a box of bricks. They know nothing about nothing, and they allow this shenanigan to play out because the guy upstairs is not going to explain to them what they're really doing. The guys upstairs know how the game is played. They're making a lot of money. These cops knew out on the street what is going on, what was being perpetrated onto the American people, not to mention the fact that we got bigger fish to fry than stop little old ladies that are doing 12 miles an hour over the speed limit, who's part of the social insecurity system, the social slave system, who's still got to go to work and is pressed for time and is doing 12 miles an hour over the speed limit, and you got 9 guys with 17,000 lights around them intimidating them. I think that's wrong. There's no emergency here, okay? And they intimidate you, they bamboozle your words. And I hate to tell you, more than half of your cops know what they're doing. They know how the game is played, except they're not allowed to make the big money. They got the highest divorce rates because they have financial problems. Meanwhile, they're stopping you. They're trading all of this money that they're collecting from the public and putting it up upstairs. And all these people are making all of this money. The only thing I can tell you is this. What you do from this point forward is up to you, because you should move this movie out to everybody you know. Guys, it's time to wake up. Watch the movie for whatever it's worth. Get it out there to everybody, because you know what? We have to wake up everybody. You know why? Because we're in a war. In a war, there's going to be casualties. Look, I understand what kind of risk I'm putting myself through. I get it. But the reality is someone's got to do it. And I'm not afraid of anything or anybody except for my God. Thank you and enjoy the show.